It's episode 2 of Bachelorette Weekend. There was a baby at the spa. Alan picked his best man, and would you do a joint bachelorette party? We're going to talk about it right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Did you see the thumbs up? I did that too. I was like, I am a child.
We are like in sync. Oh my God, I love it.
Oh my God.
That took no time to get started. I love it so much. Yay! I love this song.
I know. I will constantly jam to Katy Perry. But
Perry
like
has
circa
great tunes.
this era, like 2010 or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Yay, guys. Welcome
Bachelorette
back.
Weekend.
We're so excited. It's just me and Caroline today, and we're ready to just get started.
Oh, yeah.
I'm your host, Serio, and thanks for coming back.
And I'm Caroline Thayer. I'm so excited to talk about this episode, Sarah.
I feel like this episode was so much better than the first episode. I know we were just talking about that, but what were your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts were, why was this not the premiere? Because I think that there was so much going on. I loved that Alan and Pamela had a very unique story and that they were able to actually kind of showcase that. I felt like last week we didn't know anything about the couple, and so, other than the bride's name being Pepper. But I loved that we got to know about Alan and Pamela. They had like a romantic 24-hour fling on the beach in the Bahamas. Hello, why when I go to the Bahamas that I don't meet my future husband? Whatever.
It didn't happen to me when I went.
Yeah, bitter about it, but whatever. But beautiful love story, and now they're inseparable. And I think it was fun to see a joint bachelorette party. But I don't really know how I liked the way they were treating the people running the behind the scenes stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, they were a little bit uptight, but I get it. You hypothetically or like hopefully only have one bachelor and bachelorette party.
Do you think together Alan and Pamela were like, yes, we want to do a joint? Or do you think it was more like, see, initially
One
at
of
the
them was like,
beginning,
hey, so I have this thought and we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like ideally it'd be like, oh, the girl said that. And that's what I thought initially. Like Pamela was probably like, hey, babe, Alan, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But then as I was watching it and as the show progressed, I kind of felt like Alan was the one who needed Pamela there. Because they were like being fun and like left, obviously, and we'll get to that. But it's like I kind of felt like it was reversed. Did you feel that way at all?
I did as well. So I thought that the way it was presented was like, oh, Alan's going to have a problem that they're joined together. And I feel as though the person who had a bigger problem with it was his brother Ben, because the typical bachelor party doesn't have the future spouse along for the ride. But I thought it was kind of cool. However, that is not how I want my bachelorette party. I want it very separate, maybe on the very, very last night.
Yeah.
But even that, I mean, to each their own, but it did definitely seem like Alan was the one who wanted Pamela with him and in close proximity.
Yeah.
And I think that when he got upset with Nicole over not giving him a call, it wasn't because he didn't like the idea. It was just the common courtesy thing to do, as he's a client as well.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of the show?
I mean, no, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. I think it's just going to get better and better, and I'm so excited about it. I enjoyed that we got to see a male and a female.
Yeah.
The fact that they were a couple, I thought was unique. Would I do it like you? No, I wouldn't do it either. So that was interesting to see, and I feel like that would be challenging. I get if they want to be in the same city, sure, but the fact that they did a duplex, like
That's just too much. Because they live together. According to her social media, they live together, and it's like you can't go 48 hours without seeing your spouse or future spouse.
I know.
It's just a little bit much for me, but to each their own. I think it was unique.
But I did appreciate that the Bach Weekend people, they went to the house and toured it and saw it for themselves, because some people would be like whatever. So that was nice to see that.
I mean, it was a cool setup. I liked it. It looked pretty.
No, it was great.
And it's probably more fun than the traditional hotel. I mean, maybe you feel like you're more at home. But the one thing I will say is I felt as though I was watching a fraternity and sorority at like a mixed party. And it was a little bit fratty for me. And even I think it was Liz who said this when she was talking about the drunk guys. I feel like I just rounded up a bunch of frat boys, which is not exactly what, young adults are, or adults at this point.
Yeah, but I mean,
whatever.
Ben was the definition of like your typical dude at any bachelor party, I feel like, which I kind of appreciated, because I was like, I want to, that's what you're here to see. But also I was like, not about you.
Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't about Ben. I frankly wasn't really about Alan. He was not super nice to Nicole, in my opinion. I mean, let's be real. If somebody misspelled my name, there is nothing worse than somebody calling me Carolyn. I'm like, where's the Y in my name? Let me know. It's specifically Caroline. The last part of my name is Line. So I get it. Adam, Allen, there's no comparison there.
I don't think it's even near like the keyboard.
No, it's not actually.
Yeah.
D is here and L is here. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, no. So I don't know why that happened, and I would definitely be pissed about it, but the kind of like elitist vibe I was getting was not something I loved.
Yeah, I felt like maybe that phone call was a little bit staged or planned.
Yeah, things could be staged.
Because I just feel like, why couldn't what's her name, Pamela? Why couldn't Pamela just have told Alan and he'd be okay with it? Like, I feel like that was added so JJ could have something to say to Nicole again.
JJ with the like, everything is going to be glamorous and I'm going after the prize money. I really think that the MVP of the week is changing the way that the employees go to work,
which is what like could be the downfall when they went in like the previous last week, I think it was, when they were saying that the company was like going downhill and all that stuff. It's because I feel like they're pitting them against each other.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the most healthy environment. But yeah, I mean, that's my initial reaction. Great episode. Really liked seeing more of the actual couple. And I also think that we got to see enough of the cast. I really liked learning more about Liz and Nicole's prior like friendship. We didn't see Rachel at all in this episode. Robbie was a little bit, he was so funny. He was like exclamation, ... period, exclamation point. We don't do joint bachelorette parties. But they ended up doing one.
Yeah, and it was a success. No, I liked getting to know them as well. With Liz and her boyfriend, right?
Liz and Keith.
Yeah.
More on that later.
That was cute. That was cute to know. I wish that they still had a relationship like they used to, Liz and Nicole.
Yeah, well,
friendship-wise?
I think they're probably still friends. I mean, they act like they're still friends.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see in upcoming seasons.
Yeah. So for Alan doing the whole thing when it came to his best man situation, what were your thoughts on that? Would you do that, or would you just pick someone like a normal person would just pick someone?
Yeah, so this was not cool to me because I have a sister and she's obviously going to be my maid of honor. And I've also thought about it where I'm so close with my best friends, so I want them to be a part of my wedding party. But my sister is younger than me, and Olivia, don't you dare get married before me, because I don't want her to be my matron of honor. And she's the younger one, obviously. Anyways, I digress. The point being is that I don't think it is anyone else's job other than the person who's getting married. And actually, I think that is what Robbie was saying, the period, exclamation point too. Like, we will not interfere with people's personal lives. We are just here to set up the Bachelorette Weekend. And the obstacle course, I think, would have been so much fun had it been something for all the guys to do.
I know.
But it being a competition, it just seemed a little bit unrealistic to me. And listen, this is what they had to do. They had to take a shot, then do 10 push-ups, spin around a baseball bat 5 times, so I don't know how they didn't puke. Then they had to label bottles correctly. Then they had to roll barrels, and then they had to pop balloons to find a bow tie. And then whoever found the bow tie was going to be best man. And obviously, well, spoiler alert, Ben won. You obviously watched it, and as Nicole said, he should have won, and I don't think it's appropriate that it was determined through a competition. I'm kind of hoping that was staged too.
I feel like it was staged because they were probably thinking like, oh, what can we do to make this exciting? But it's like he could have already had it picked as Ben, and like you said, they could have just all done it for fun. Because like the rest of them were just standing there watching. It's like
go.
Everyone should be included.
I know.
It was a little weird.
It was a little weird. I don't know if, I mean, I'm definitely not doing that. I love the idea of an obstacle course.
Me too.
Though. I think it's really fun, and I liked that we had that last week with the whole, the paintballing, I guess you could say, was the obstacle course. I just love unique activities like that. And I feel like that is something, you do as a kid, and then you mix alcohol into it or something, and then it makes it a little bit more adult.
Yep.
Just as an aside.
I know. I feel like they should have like bottled their own whiskey or something to make it special.
God,
to have that special
amazing idea.
element.
He said that was one of the requirements. He said whiskey at all times.
I know.
I don't think he had whiskey at all times.
No. Do you think, you know what I noticed, which I still am a little weirded out by this whole like Bach Weekend situation with the employees. When they first came into the duplexes and then Nicole came into the guy's home and then the whole name was spelled wrong and all that happened. And then she was like, you know what, just forget about it. And they all had a whiskey drink. She had one too. And I just noticed it, and it just like still rubs me the wrong way.
We talked about
she
this
messed
last
up, but she's like not really reprimanded for it. I mean, even though like she was called out at their meeting at the end, which we'll get to in a little bit, but it just seemed like she was like, yeah, whatever. Cheers.
That is definitely something that we talked about last week and still bothers me a little bit. Where is the line of professionalism and then like being one and with the party, if that makes sense? We see throughout the episode the women, specifically Rosa and Liz and Nicole, being their handlers essentially and keeping them like in one place and making sure they're not getting too drunk. And then we also see them partying with them at bars, and it's like, are you a part of the party? Are you a groomsman? Are you a bridesmaid? I don't know what your role is here. So that definitely was present in this episode as much as it was last week.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you noticed that because it was a little...
No, I did not. That's a good call.
Yeah, no, it was just like it was just a little weird for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think about them going to a nice fancy restaurant on their first night when they're all super just wanting to have a good time, get drunk? What are your thoughts? Because I have...
Oh, I know. I think you have something to say, and I think you probably have personal experience. So, like...
No.
No?
I don't. It's just, I feel like a dinner is a great idea, like a mature, fancy dinner. It's a great idea. Don't know about the first night. I feel like maybe the second night, because it's like you're so excited. Like, go out to like a dive bar or whatever, have a good time. Or maybe just don't drink as much and then drink like after the dinner, because I appreciated it, but I don't feel like they appreciated it as much as they could have.
Well, what really bothered me was just the way that they were treating the staff.
Oh,
again,
sure.
It was like the same elitist behavior. They were talking to the waitress inappropriately, and especially in this environment today, you just can't do that. And a lot of times things like that would be swept under the rug, and I applaud the waitress for saying something to Liz and being like, look, I'm just trying to do my job, and they're consistently saying rude things. And so they did the right thing, I think, by pulling the guys out of that restaurant. But they wanted the fancy, very put-together bachelor party. So I'm not sure what prompted them other than, feeling the vibe to get that drunk to the point where they had to leave the restaurant.
They were probably feeling the vibe.
Yeah.
Because they were in a fraternity house.
Literally, they were just frat bros, chilling, killing it. I don't know. I was not amused by their behavior. But what are you going to do? Boys will be boys. However, don't treat people with disrespect.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that. But before we continue, we do have a little special message to all of you guys out there for tuning in, and we want to know how we appreciate you.
Yes. So, hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From drama, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. This YouTube channel. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz TV YouTube channels as well. And let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. Wow, I don't know what I just did with my hands. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you.
And make sure that if you're not listening or watching on YouTube, you can listen to anywhere there's a podcast. We're on podcasts. So, I mean, unfortunately, you're not going to see our charming looks, but you will hear our beautiful,
absolutely,
cool
and
voices.
We all know everyone's stuck in traffic after work, so just
oh my God, that's an
do it
amazing
up.
idea, Sarah.
I know.
Oh my God,
you're welcome. Anyway, we talked about the boys, so let's go to the girls. The spa day. Mm-hmm. That baby. I understand.
Oh God, the professionalism again.
I know, right? This show really, it's like, let's move to Nashville. I feel like these jobs would just be perfect.
Really, I mean, why? So what, at first I was having a hard time understanding if it was the masseuse with the baby or a client who couldn't have her babysitter come and brought their own baby. But no, it was the masseuse.
It was I had a difficult time too, but then I got it.
And then it was clarified. I just think that that is quite possibly the most unfortunate circumstance. I mean, what are you going to do? But I don't think that's ever appropriate because that's not even quality service. Nobody's going to be relaxed if a baby is constantly crying. And what are you going to do? You can't, like, shut the baby up. There's really little you can do. If a baby wants to cry, it's going to cry. But for anyone, the poor woman who was getting a massage, like, imagine being like, and so are you relaxed? Are you relaxed? Baby crying, relax, you know? Oh, God, that just...
I feel like there were so many spas that they could choose, especially in Nashville, and then they chose
I mean, I've never been to Nashville, so I don't know
no, it's like an up-and-coming city. It really is.
I mean, I know so many people who go there with big groups of friends, and they just, you know, have a time, but I don't know how it would feel if the one activity that we were doing that day was now ruined by the sound of a wailing baby.
I know. I feel like they didn't get to do much. Well, they each got an activity, but I still feel like they could have done more.
Well, that's the thing with this episode. I think they showed a lot less of what the activities were and more on the relationship itself. Yeah. So it was a contrast from last week. Which I don't know
we didn't get any like broach moments with her girls.
TBT, broach the roach. It's just like a fun little. I hope you guys watched last week. Yeah. If you didn't, go watch our episode after this episode. Okay. A little plug for last week. But yeah, you're right. We didn't get as much like dramatic. We didn't really meet anyone other than Ben and Alan and Pamela. We didn't get like, oh, who's her maid? Actually, I don't think we met her maid of honor. Did it say at any point?
No.
I wonder if she was there. Which one her girls, though, it was so funny. I mean, probably the cast just playing into it. But when Liz was saying, oh, you know what? I bet Pamela and her girls, they're so sweet. I bet they're just sipping on their cocktails, being all cute and classy. Cut to girls doing body shots off men.
I know.
Giving men, you know, like, I don't even know what you would call it. It's like a lap dance, but when you're being held in their arms, like an air dance. I don't know.
I love that the guy got arrested.
Oh my God, that was amazing. When Pamela turns
know.
to her friend, she's like, the guy you hooked up with and JJ got a picture of, yeah, he just got arrested. Well, that could have been a terrible moment. Thank God they kept it together. Speaking of, I really do love JJ for documenting everything.
I know. I do think that is so smart that they do that.
In a time where pictures are everything, it's just so awesome that you have somebody clicking. And even if the pictures are embarrassing, because she's like literally kissing the dude and has her middle finger up.
Yeah.
They're memories and they're wonderful. And regardless if you're so hammered or making a fool out of yourself or both, you know, they're nice to look back on and be like, kids, way back in the day, mom and dad were a little rowdy.
I know. That would, yeah. I think that's really smart of them.
I feel like, though, why does JJ go to the women's part and not the men's part? That would only be my concern, which we kind of got a little insight into because the girls were saying they felt like they weren't taken as good care of as the men. What did they do Sunday morning? Was that the spa? I thought that was Saturday. So I think that there must have been too much footage and we didn't get to see their second activities.
Because when would they would normally get there like a Friday night, right?
Yeah.
And so they went out to that fancy dinner and then that happened. So then Saturday, they did the distillery and the spa.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, they definitely must have just cut out like a breakfast or some type of activity just because I think we've been saying this for the entire episode. It was much more concentrated on the inner relationship between Pamela and Alan and his dudes and Pamela and her girls, and less about what the Bach Party Weekend staff planned for them.
I hope there becomes a balance in the later episodes because it's like I liked what they did, but I also wanted a little bit more. And I feel like they could have given us more. They just didn't. So
Let us know in the comments what you got, which ones you got, or which setting, scenario you like better. If you want to see more of the couples, or, I mean, not that I have an influence, you have an influence, I don't have it in, but I
know CMT.
Yeah. We know things. But I'm genuinely curious because if maybe somebody watches this and they get feedback, but it's definitely a different vibe if you see more of the party planning aspect or more of the like micromanaging of the couple or of the bride or of the groom, you know?
Party planning for me.
Party planning? Yeah. I don't know.
But party planning,
I kind of like the drama of the micromanaging.
Yeah. Party planning, but also like I just want to kind of get to know them and also their party, like their maid of honors and all those other people.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I'm realizing though, the reason why we probably saw micromanaging and getting to know more of the couple was because both of them were there.
Yeah, that is true.
Last week, nobody cared about Pepper's soon-to-be husband because nobody knew who he was. He wasn't on the show, you know. So I guess that could alter the way that the show is presented.
Yeah, but I will say I did appreciate having Rosa pop up. Because I started to like her.
Yeah,
like, I knew she existed, but I was like, oh, okay, there she is.
She's really funny. I appreciated the fact when, you know, she's sitting in the corner watching the girls be all over the place on all over people with her wedding ring, just the facial expressions. It's like, ugh, what is that? I do not like seeing it.
Yeah.
I think she said something along the lines of, it's really interesting when people come to Nashville, like, they change, and it's a completely different environment. So, you know, she's just sitting in her little corner with her beautiful wedding ring on, judging. I'm like, Rosa.
What a job.
What a job.
What a gig.
Exactly. Which, I mean, I don't know if it's time yet. How are we reaching our MVP moment?
Kind of. I just wanted to talk about the last night.
Oh, do it.
It's just the last little thing. I just want to talk about the last night. Do you think it was climactic, or do you think it was kind of just like,
I thought it was kind of interesting to see, like, the slight tension between Alan and Pamela when Pamela and her girls ditched out on the bill. And honestly, in my mind, that would be a hilarious joke. And I'm sorry, it's really not fair of us to assume, but I'd assume that at this point they're probably paying together for the Bachelor Weekend. So any bill that they have is going to be mutually paid for, I guess. So I didn't get why Alan, who kind of already seemed pretentious as it is, cared that much.
That was the point where in my head I was like, I get it. Like, he's the one that like needs to have Pamela with him all the time. And like that's when it like really clicked that I was like, okay, Alan, like he just needs her to be there. It's like he just seemed a little bit uneasy, a hint of like jealousy, not really anger, but a little bit of frustration. I was getting it all from Alan.
Oh my God.
Were you not? Was this just me?
I don't know. I couldn't really tell if it was, I think it was the fact that maybe because the girls left and ditched him, that was maybe an ego thing.
And then his friends were there, so his friends were probably like, what? And he was like, oh, I got to show them. You know, it was probably like so much going on.
I could see that. What I did not like, and I think that it was so inappropriate, Ben was like, yo, we can look and see what they spent $500 on, which is what the bill was. It was like $491 or something. And he's like, look, we can even see what they were eating. And he did some, you know, like, he was obviously disgusted. And they were eating nachos. It's like, excuse me. If I am on my Bachelorette weekend, I will be eating whatever the heck I want. And please don't question me for eating nachos. Please don't question me if I want to eat like 8 bowls of ice cream a day. I'm just going to do me.
I know.
And I did not need that judgment. Ben was really judgmental.
Yeah, and it's like, Ben, who are you? You just became the best man. You have no right.
You have no leverage. You literally, you might get that, that crown taken away from you. So be careful, Ben. Sorry, that's sounded really
That's
like
how we're
threatening.
going to end it.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a great weekend, and now we're going to hit the MVP.
Oh, yes. Who did you think the MVP was going to go to?
I mean, you know, I, honest to God, thought it was Rosa.
I thought it was going to be Rosa, too.
Just for her little moment that she had there.
Well, I thought it was because Pamela, who they were really trying to impress, because she has, guys, if you didn't know, she has 4.5 million likes on Facebook. I don't think Robbie said that enough. But they were really trying to impress her, and Pamela in her review wrote, Rosa's somebody I would be friends with. I'd like to be friends with.
I know.
So that kind of led me to believe, oh, Rosa's got it in the bag. She's got that extra dough coming right at her.
And I was so excited. I was like, you know what, great. And I was like, maybe we're going to see more of her next week. And I was excited because, as you can see, I'm starting to become a really big fan of this Rosa. Who did you think?
No, we both thought it was Rosa.
Okay, good.
But at the end of the day, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, what is going to make for excellent reality TV? And who actually did the most work, probably had to plan the most? It was Nicole, who won last week. And honestly, yeah, she messed up. But it made sense to me that she won. I would have liked to see Rosa win. JJ was not about it.
No, but I noticed it, and Robbie always pins up, he'll say like someone, and you're like, okay, maybe it's them, but then he always is like, JJ, you did this, this, and this so great, and then they're like, okay, Nicole, you did this, this, and this so great, so it's always Nicole and JJ, but I also think it's not totally fair, because Nicole's job does, like, involve a little bit more than the others.
She's the party planner, but she is probably the top party planner.
So obviously it's going to look like she did so much because
Well, I was interested in seeing if one of them were going to call her out and be like, yo, you actually lost the client and have to get him back. And that would have tainted Robbie's perception of the whole week.
Because he doesn't know about that.
He doesn't know about that. So I'm wondering maybe that'll be brought up in a later episode. I don't know how the show is formatted, if they talk about previous parties on future episodes, but I definitely think that could be a point of contention between the two, JJ and Nicole. They definitely seem to be pinned against each other all the time.
For sure. I do think it's going to start to cause conflict with everyone, because if she continues to win and no one else is really being appreciated, which I would understand.
Well, we thought last week, remember, maybe JJ's going to get it because he's the favorite and he gets away with so much. Well, maybe it's Nicole.
Maybe we were blindsided.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll figure that out next week.
With the 5-star experience and then the 4-star experience, did you think it was going to go that way with Pamela and Alan giving those reviews?
I actually thought it was going to go the other way around. I thought
Really?
I thought Alan would give a 4-star review and that Pamela would give a 5-star review. Because in my mind,
I feel like they got what they wanted on their list. It wasn't that.
Actually, Pamela didn't get her diamonds and sparkles. That's what she wanted. She wanted sparkles all over, and she noticed that
You're right.
Alan's limo was more decked out than hers. And I'm sorry, but a decked out limo compared to a non-decked out limo, it's just not the same. It's not the same.
We're going back to like prom moments, you know?
Honestly, it was very fratty, promy.
No, I do get it. I
in
do
the
think they could have
Bachelor
done more.
Weekend.
You're absolutely right. Because they kept saying like glitz and glam Pamela. And it's like, I
Yes.
wasn't seeing all this different aspects
Oh, there
of
was no
them
glitz. There
that
was
you
no
were-
glam.
Yeah.
How dare they?
And they also kept saying like champagne and wine all the time. And I just feel like they could have done, I know you can do this because my friend got me this. You can get custom made wine bottles with like pictures of yourself on it. And
Oh,
it's
wow,
like they
that's-
could have done that.
Wow, that's
Maybe we should become hired at Bach
Weekend.
Weekend.
We are basically giving you wonderful ideas out there. Robbie and
Yeah.
Rachel, who's the COO, you know, we have ideas, and you can come here every Thursday night at 10 p.m. and we will give you our advice for free. What does that say? Maybe we should be on like season 2, like
Yeah.
get a cut
Just
or
get
something.
us
I don't
in.
know.
We'll get a cut. Now we're free, then we need a cut.
Yeah.
But we're going to do this little segment of Would You Rather that we're going to start. I'm going to ask Caroline a question. That this actually happened to a friend of mine. She went on a Bachelorette Weekend.
It wasn't
last
her
weekend. It
Bachelorette
wasn't
Weekend, okay.
hers, but she said it was a wild time.
Where'd they go?
Florida, Key West, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Key West, Florida, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so would you rather see another person, like another bride that you knew was getting married, hook up with someone?
Oh.
This happened, guys. Or would you rather see your bride hook up? So would you rather see another bride hook up with someone and have that guilt? Or would you rather see your friend who is the bride hook up with someone and then have that guilt? Because I feel like...
Okay, so I'm sorry. The first bride, she didn't know. She just witnessed
You don't know, you just witnessed it.
Okay.
But this person you know, and it's like, ooh. So it's like...
Well, I
would you
would
do?
much rather have my friend do it, only because the burden of not being able to speak candidly to the bride who hooked up with another person who wasn't her husband or soon to be husband would be so like taxing on me, and I wouldn't like that because you wouldn't know how the story ends, you know? And with your friend, I would call them out and say, hey, I don't know if you and your boy had an agreement like one wild night before the big shebang of a wedding, but I don't think I mean, neither situation.
No, I know. And when she told me, I was like, that
Wait, so
actually
which one did she? Which happened?
happened. That she saw someone else hook up, and then they got into a huge fight with her bridal party. Like, the girl that I know, their bridal party got into a fight with this girl's bridal party. And they were like, you don't know the situation. Like, it's all about money. Like, he's paying for this.
Oh my
and
God.
and they were like, oh my gosh, we didn't know. But I was like, yes. Because I
So
feel like if
did
it was
she-
my friend, like, that's just I don't know.
You could, if it was my friend, I'd be pissed.
I
I'd
would be
like, "Don't-"
upset.
especially if I knew the groom really well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm the type of person, like, if you were to be cheated on, would you want to know?
yes.
Yeah, so would I. So I would never fault somebody for coming to me and being
Absolutely,
like,
you're
hey,
right.
your boyfriend
It's just
cheated on
such
you.
an awful
So
situation.
yeah, exactly. So I would hate that if that
Comment
happened.
below and let us know if y'all have any crazy stories like that, or would you rather for us to do next week. We'd really appreciate that.
Oh my God.
I know, but
Well,
now
speaking of like dramatics,
I know.
I need to update you guys because we did some detective work and we needed to find out if Pamela and Alan actually got married, because we don't really know when this filmed, but according to Pamela's Twitter, and Pamela, if you are watching, you can totally just like tell your followers about this. But we saw your lovely post that you posted to your Twitter. I think we have a picture, but it is of you at your bridal shower.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so you look lovely. And you are just rocking your dress. And yeah, this is at your bridal party, and it was late July. So it was only a month ago, or less than a month ago. So they aren't married yet, but things are still looking good. Pamela and Alan, probably 2019. Maybe late 2018, but I think 2019.
I think 2019 because I think I saw something on his Instagram where it was like, next year on your birthday, you'll be Mrs. Miller.
because they got engaged on her birthday.
Oh, yeah,
that was really cute. That was Alan, good job. That was a good thing. I like when fiancés bring in all the family and friends.
I do like that too.
It's cute. Okay, another update. So we were given this glimpse of Liz, who is one of the planners, and she was saying like, oh, hey, I have a boyfriend now, and I was wondering, are her and Keith still together? Well, Keith posted this picture of her on August 2nd, which was last week when the show premiered, saying like, look at this cutie, you go girl. So he was obviously expressing his support, which means I think they're still together.
Yay!
Love, which
I
is
love
nice.
seeing all that insight.
Yeah, I know.
With the employees.
I know. Me too.
Because
I think
it
it's
has
fun.
to do, and what they're doing has to do with like love and relationships. So it's nice to see like, even if you're single or whatever, just to see them dating or like their thoughts. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. So that is all the news I have for you. But stay tuned for next week. I'll give you some more.
I love it. Should we go into, I think we should do predictions.
100%.
And now,
This music scares me.
AfterBuzz TV.
Okay.
It's
Good
like
night. Good night.
See you later. No, it does. It's like an alien. I always think I'm going to see like a little gray. That's an alien.
A little gray?
Yeah, my dad.
Okay, we're not going there.
All right,
I don't know
we're
what
done. So,
predictions?
Carol, yeah. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, predictions for next week. I'm excited because I think this bride is going to be a real
handful.
And I think they're going to get those IVs done. It looked like they were getting those IVs that you get done the day after. It's like a hangover IV where you're like,
yeah, you're putting good
hydrated.
fluids into your body.
So I think her bridal party is crazy, so I'm excited for that. But I really want to see more of the employees, to be honest, and I hope we get that. That's really it.
For my prediction, I guess I would just say that the bride is not going to get everything she wants. And the disclaimer about Brittany, the bride, is she's used to getting what she wants. So God forbid she doesn't, something goes awry. I mean, somebody throws up. We see like somebody gets real sick. So I feel as though she might not be super content. But I would love to see more of the staff at Bach Party. So hopefully that happens. I love keeping up with them on social media.
I know.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's new. It's fresh. And I think that they're liking it too. Yeah.
Where can we find you on social media?
Yes, guys. Again, I'm Sarah Serio. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, like. We love it so much. You can follow me at @Serio for all of the fun.
And you can follow me, Caroline Thayer, at Caroline J. Thayer. Please keep tuning in. We love hearing your feedback. You can tweet us or comment below. So, yeah.
Yeah, please do. See you guys next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.